I am excited to introduce our guest for today. One of my brothers, a guy I've known for some time, a fellow hooper, a fellow Niger boy, my man, Amanze Egekeze. Is that how you say it?
Yes, sir.
Did I get it
Perfect.
right?
You got it.
Amazing.
You're in the 3 percentile in the world.
Well, I got a little bit of an upper hand, man, because one, I am Nigerian, and two, I have heard that name called many times before. So,
Yeah,
man, what's going on? How you doing, my brother?
doing well. Feeling good, feeling healthy. Just wrapped up another season, so thankful for that, and just getting ready for the summer, man. I'm excited.
Blessings, man. Anytime you can finish a season healthy, man, that is, as you know how it is, man. As an athlete, as somebody whose body is just going through it day in, day in and day out, it's amazing to just be able to say, hey man, I made it. I did this thing one
Yep.
year down. I know how it is, bro. Every time May comes around, yeah, this is how it starts, bro. March comes around, you're like, okay, weather's getting warmer. Where were you at?
Well, I was in Finland, so the weather just started getting warm,
Yeah, that's
like
why I
this
said
this week.
that's why I said that. Normally a lot of cats, man, the weather starts getting nice. Whether you got, some people got kids and families, kids is outside, wife get to go outside a little bit, enjoy the
Mhm.
weather, enjoy the city. Everybody, the emotions are high, season's coming to the end, you're ready to go home. So man, I'm happy that you finished this season healthy, man, and on a good. Unfortunately, y'all didn't finish how you wanted to, man, but I know you had a great season and a lot of things to be excited about, man. Just talk to us about what this experience was like. Give yourself a little introduction, who you are, what you do, where you've been, and we'll jump right into the end of the season.
Yeah, man. So, well, I graduated, played 4 years at Belmont University, in Nashville, Division I school in Nashville, Tennessee. Graduated in 2018. Had a great experience there. Had great teammates. Played for a legendary coach and Rick Bird. So after that, I played my first professional season in Japan, which is not a place that a lot of rookies start their career. So when people look at my career like arc, everybody always thinks it's weird, because starting in Asia is not rookies don't usually start there. And then getting a chance to go to Greece, play for a historic franchise too, and Pauk there. Played there the next year, and then from there went to France for a season right before actually COVID happened right after Greece, and then France was my first job after that, and played about a little over halfway through the season, and then I tore my MCL playing with y'all with the Nigerian National Team up in Tunisia, so that ended my season there, and then I was able to come back to the Netherlands after the year after that year, and then I've been in Finland these last two seasons. So have had a great experience here, kind of getting myself back into playing how I know I can these last 2 years, and it's been a great experience out
Yeah, man. I forgot that happened in Tunisia.
here. Yeah, I
That's
forgot
that
it happened too.
is
It
that
feels
when
like
I
forever
is
ago.
that when I met you? Was that my first year meeting you?
No, I met you in Rwanda, so it was the same year. It was the same year, but it was
Oh,
the
okay.
first. It was the first window.
Okay, okay. Man, yeah, I want to get into that. But first, bro, so what year is this for you?
This is year 6 for me. Year
Wow,
6. It's
congrats.
crazy.
Started in Asia, man. How was that? I didn't how was starting in Asia? I didn't even know that you played there, honestly.
Yeah, it was an experience, man. Unique opportunity. So after my senior year, I got in touch. One of my old high school buddies put me in touch with a trainer out in Dallas. His name was Fess Urban. I don't know if you know him. Kind of old school guy, But went out there to train with him for that summer, and he had just gotten the coaching job with Yokohama as an assistant coach, and the head coach was also an American guy, so they had a good relationship. They had worked with each other for another team, I think, in the Middle East somewhere. So he put in a good word for me. Obviously, he's seeing me every day. I'm training with him, and that's really how that situation came about. Not a lot of teams would take a chance on a rookie their first year,
Mhm.
especially a country like Japan, where most of the Americans are experienced vets, and so it was a little different. And it was a rocky year. You know, we weren't a very good team. We were one of the bottom teams in B1, and obviously I'm a rookie. Everything's new for me, so I'm getting out my first experience there. And I found out quickly like I'm playing well, and I think first or second in the team in scoring for most of the year while I was there, but we just weren't winning games, and it's like I wasn't consistent enough. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't at the level that they needed, the production they needed, in order for them to be satisfied, I guess. So
Yeah.
usually the first guys to go is the Americans, and so ended up getting released from there and was home for about a month, and then got picked up by another team, which is one of the top teams in the same league in Okinawa. So I played there on a 1 month contract, and they had told me, you know, if you play well, there's a good chance they'd sign me for the rest of the season. So I get there, and mind you, I'm the third American now. In Japan at the time, the rule was two Americans can play, and you can have a third, but they can't dress. So I was playing. I think I played maybe 4 or 5 games for them because they had an injury at the time, and played some of my best ball up to that point. Obviously, being in the league, a little more experience there, knowing how to play, and so had some good games there. Thought I would probably get re-signed for the rest of the season, and then they kind of just changed their mind last minute, which I understood. It was a 1 month contract, and loved my time there. And ironically, the last team that I played against had one of my better games, and they picked me up for the rest of the season. The team was Niigata, so they picked me up for the rest of the season as third American also. And so yeah, 3 teams, 1 year.
Wow.
Um,
Rookie season?
Crazy rookie season. Yeah,
Jeez, that's a ride.
yeah, yeah,
Well,
yeah,
I got released my rookie season too. You don't got to sugarcoat it with me, man. I know how it goes.
yeah.
I got released my rookie season and I didn't have such a good experience. So, um, it's for you to get released and picked up and that's I mean, you were obviously doing something right. You know what I'm saying? They you
Right.
caught the right you caught the right people's attention. So, then you finished there. Then where did you go the next year?
The next year I went to Greece. I went to Greece that year. So um, also kind of I'm sure for my agent in some ways maybe a home run coming off a year in Asia where the league is not as respected as in Europe, and so I went to Europe and basically it was like I was a rookie all over again, so I had to kind of prove myself all over again, and that's kind of how they treated me too, so ended up going to PAOK, good team that they compete in Champions League, so another one of those things, just like Japan, where it's like in Japan, I probably made in that 1 year what a lot of guys don't make in 3, 4, 5 years in Europe.
Right.
So I couldn't really turn that down. And the same with in this situation in Greece, where you have a chance to play Champions League right away. It's opportunity. It's opportunity. So I felt like, man, I got to take this, and we did. And quite frankly, man, just I don't feel like I was ready for that level right away.
Champions
European
League.
basketball, yeah, like
Yeah.
22 years old, European basketball is totally different than Japanese basketball. So,
Then American basketball, than anything you've ever
then
learned.
completely different, way
Yeah.
different.
People
So
don't
even
people
if
don't realize that, man. Let's talk to me about that real quick. Talk to me about the difference in basketballs because people think, and now I'm, a vet. I go around and I talk to people and they're like, "Oh, what are you? I'm playing overseas," and they're like, "Oh, I know it's John Michael who's playing in, and they're like, I'm like, yeah, there's basketball everywhere, and
yeah,
but people think that Europe is just Europe or overseas basketball is overseas basketball. I don't care if you're in Japan, if you're in China, if you're
yeah,
in Australia and Europe, it's all the same. But talk to us about the differences, man, because like you said, it's a whole different basketball over there in Europe.
and you just going off what you said, I would always find it funny where like maybe not my friends, but just people. in general. Maybe you go to the Y or something, you're hooping, and maybe it's some guys that felt like they could have made it or something, and they could have went pro or could have went college. They'll be like, oh, well, I'm gonna just go overseas, and no, I'm trying to go overseas, or you know what I'm saying, I'm trying to, I'll just do that, and maybe in a couple years see how. Overseas is no joke, man. Um, it's some high level basketball overseas. That's the first thing a lot of people. The world is much bigger than the NBA, and the G League circuit and everything. And it was talk about just a wake up call. You really start to question, like, am I actually good? Am I actually as it makes you question because a lot of the moves that I like to use growing up, just that I've been taught my whole life. Oh, this it's a travel. You can't
Can't
do it.
use it.
You
Yeah.
know, you can't use it. So I felt handicapped that first year with a lot of stuff. The rules are different. You know, the ball's different. The 3 point line's a little farther back. You know, I'll never forget. I went up for a layup in Japan, and I seen somebody just knock it off the rim, and I'm freaking out. I'm going like, ref, like you didn't see that, and uh, the vets are like, nah, man, like you can do that here, and so
Yeah.
just little things like that. There is kind of it's a big adjustment if you're not used to it. So
Yeah, and and another thing, man, is I try to not treat people in the sense of like, oh, all overseas basketball isn't created equally. Okay. And that's, you kind of understand that once you get into it, but a lot of people that are not in it, they don't understand that. And so,
mhm.
I'm sure you receive these. I'll get a text from somebody, some random person. It's like, yo, can you hook me up with your agent? I'm looking to go overseas. And it's like, this isn't
Yeah,
pickup basketball.
not
This
not how
isn't,
it works.
you know what I'm saying? People think that you could just, yeah, let me just call the GM and I'll tell them to put in a good word for you. You don't have no resume. You didn't play in high school. You didn't play in college, but for some reason you think you're going to go overseas and play. And it's kind of disrespectful because there's a lot of work and a lot of sacrifice and a lot of hard work that goes into this. You know what I
A
mean? And
lot.
it's not, you can't
Yep.
just show up and just show up and think that you can go and do this, right? And not that you can't do this, but you have to dedicate it takes some form of dedication and some, you know what I'm saying, to go and
Yep.
do this. And so when your guys don't hit up your favorite overseas athlete and tell him to hook you up with his agent because this doesn't work like that. You know what I mean?
Doesn't work like that. It's like you. I totally agree. Just a little disrespectful, and I man, it's a lot of guys I knew coming out of college, whether they were older than me or maybe even my class, who could have been maybe even EuroLeague type players, man.
Right.
But they never played, never ended up playing, and really it's just because it's not just about basketball. Like there's a mental side of it that you have to be ready to deal with to do this, and
Yeah.
they don't take anything away from them. It wasn't for them. It's not for everybody. Like
Hmm.
there's some really talented players that just no, I can't do it. I can't be away from my family for that long, and so it's
What
a
what
grind what we do.
what are some of the mental tolls that this takes that the lifestyle takes on you? Right now I'm looking at you, look like you're in your kitchen, sitting down, probably at your dining table.
Yeah.
Talk to me about the lifestyle of being overseas and what you had to kind of cultivate within yourself mentally to gain the resiliency to be in your 6th year, to be going, you know what I'm
Mhm.
saying, to have a long and successful career, man. What are some of the things you had to learn along the way?
I think it's important to have a good foundation first and foremost. My parents have instilled a lot of great values in me since I was little that I think prepared me. Everything that's happened in my life prepared me to be able to do this. I've always been pretty. I've always been pretty good at being on my own, like pretty independent. So I wasn't even going to college. Like I wasn't too worried about how I'm gonna do on my own. I think that's the first hurdle that mentally a lot of guys have to get over. Is just you're by yourself like 80 to 90% of the day. Um, and some people can't do that. And that's just the base level thing you got to be ready for.
Yeah.
Um, for me individually, man, mentally, I would say, especially in Japan, being on a different time zone. Like when you're in Europe, that's tough as it is. You're 6, 7, 8 hours ahead of wherever you are in the States, depending on where you live. For me, year one, I was 12, 13, 14 hours ahead.
Yeah.
So imagine the only times you can really talk to your people, your family, friends, really early when you wake up. And then for basically your whole day is the dead period where your phone's dry. Nobody's even social media is scrolling through and it's dead. Like not much new stuff is popping up because everybody's asleep. And then of course, when it's late night, you can talk to your people again. So just having normal everyday interactions. You can't just go outside and meet people as easily because maybe there's a language barrier. Um, and then it's for me, it was the first time where I had to deal with. Of course, you go through ups and downs basketball wise in college, but man, when you're struggling as a pro, it's different, man, because you might have 2, 3 bad games or something. In college, it didn't matter. You know what I'm saying? Everybody still super supportive and you're there for 4 years. You're not going anywhere. You go through 2 or 3 bad games as a pro, man, you're getting messages from fans, you getting,
Yeah.
get away from our team, you're getting hate messages and the club looking at you funny, maybe, and you got to deal with all that on your own. And it's a grown man's business, and those are things mentally you have to be prepared to deal with on your own. So uh, it's still basketball, it's still fun, and we love it. That's why we do it. But it's definitely the game. I've had to take it a lot more serious than I did as in college for sure.
Yeah, it's and one thing that you talked about, the language barrier. So imagine this, man. 12-hour difference. Let's just think about it. It's 8 a.m. for you, it's 8 p.m. for them. Okay.
Mhm.
That's just that's that's the start, right? And just think about it, man. You don't have People don't realize this. You don't have any friends. You don't have any friends. You have your
Nope.
teammates, and you probably don't like a lot of them. You get what I'm saying, though. Let's
I
just
know
be
what you
honest. Like
mean.
it's a
Yeah.
business, right? And so, oh, I say you probably don't like it. It's a business. You got a couple guys you're close with, some guys you can't stand, some guys you got to learn to deal with, the coaches you don't like, the front office you don't like. This is the typical overseas. Not that you don't like them, but this is a typical overseas
It's just not your.
dynamic.
They're not your people. Like
They're
they're not
not they're
your
not
type. You know
your
what I'm saying?
people. And not even that they're not your people, but a lot of these people don't want the Americans there. They don't want you on their team because you're taking
Yeah.
you're taking time away, you're taking opportunity away, you're taking, like I said, minutes, you're taking all these things away from their friends. Like you're
Hmm.
my friend, right? We share the same blood. We're both Nigerian. If we're on a team, I don't care where we are. Let's call it Germany. We're both in Germany. I'm gonna want you over the next person because I know you and I've been with you.
Because you
And you,
know
you feel what I'm saying? These people in
facts.
these other
Yep.
countries, they've been around each other for a long time. Here comes the American. You don't speak the language, they talking behind your back. They talking to the coaches in different languages. You know what I'm saying? So you're just around and
Yep.
you're just kind of isolated, man. And it's hard to come home and not have any friends to talk to on the phone and not have any people to talk to in physically where you're at. So you
Right.
got to kind of learn how to be by yourself, man. You got to kind of learn how to what makes you happy. And that was kind of how I founded, this whole movement, this everything that I'm doing. That's kind of how I founded it, was in that dark time. Was like, man,
Right.
what what makes me happy? What do I really enjoy? You know what I mean? Because you've got to find something to hold on to.
Got to.
At the time, it's like I love playing basketball, but you go there, it's no longer basketball. Basketball is the last thing you're doing. It's a business. And you got to learn how to operate within the business. And so, I had to
Yep.
find ways to like be happy outside of basketball. You have a bad game, you come home, and it's like, man, who do you talk to after you have a bad game? You better learn how to self-soothe.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You gotta learn how to
For sure.
work on your confidence by yourself, because nobody's gonna give it to you. And so
Absolutely.
you
Yep.
find ways to like increase performance. You find ways to increase productivity. You have to find ways to increase your level of value to the team. What did you start to what practices did you start to implicate what practices did you start to what am I looking for?
to
What
make,
practice?
yeah,
Yeah, what practices did you implement to
yeah,
help you increase those things in your life?
yeah. I agree totally, man. First and foremost, um, and this again goes back to just my foundation that my family instilled in me was just having faith, like my faith in God. Um, I feel like I've been a Christian my whole life, but I actually grown closer to God. I think in these last few years because I've had to. I'm on my own out here, and so having a routine, my own routine, and that's completely separate from what I do. Basketball is what I do. It's not who I am. And so having an identity outside of basketball where other people identify you as a basketball player, but I know I have more to offer than that. I'm more than that. I'm not just a basketball player. Um so I would say having my own routine in terms of my faith, reading my Bible and prayer, things like that. Outside of that, having other interests outside of basketball, man.
Mhm.
Like just like you said, you kind of this kind of started for you in that dark place. For me, after being cut slash release slash finishing the short contracts, my first year in Japan. For me, it was I just woke up one day and I'm like, man, I love music. I want to know how to learn how to make beats, and so
Yeah.
I basically taught myself and started. That kind of became my thing, and even to this day, it's my thing, just on a side hobby. Um, and then another thing you said too, man, for me, because I definitely feel you on the when you're an American, you know, you kind of feel people talking behind your back type thing. You're in their world now. Like you have to fit in with their clique and things like that. But I've just everywhere I've been, I've tried to be the not the stereotypical American. Because I
Yeah.
come in thinking like they're gonna think I'm this way already. So my goal is to it's not like I'm trying to be someone that I'm not, but I'm gonna show them that, not all of us are this way.
Mhm.
So I make an effort, man, to go
Mhm.
and sit with them at lunch. I make an effort to go and, be a part of what they're doing, learn their language, or learn some words just to show them that I care enough to like embrace their culture. And you'd be surprised, it goes a long way. Like everywhere I've been, one of the things that they tell me when I leave is, man, you're one of my favorite Americans. Like I usually don't, I'm not this close to an American on the team. And that's always the biggest compliment for me, man. Whatever they think of me as a player and what I did there as a player is nice. But when people can look at you and have genuine love and respect for you, and tell you that they meant a lot to you while you were there, that's always the biggest compliment for me. So just embracing the culture and then having your own interests outside of basketball and just having an identity outside of basketball.
At the end of the day, man, we're all humans. They're humans. We were all, we're all kind of taught the same thing. So it's if you're a good person, if you're humble, if you're willing to work, and that's the thing about being overseas is you've got to be willing to lose what you know, not lose what you know,
Mm-hmm.
but forget what you know and embrace another culture. And the guys who can do that are the ones who are still around.
Yep.
If you have to be able to
Thanks.
embrace you feel what I'm saying?
Got to.
You
Yep.
got to be able to embrace that culture, man. And once you do that and put that effort, then they'll welcome you into their ecosystem because you are
Right.
in their ecosystem. And you have to
Yep.
learn how to you got to learn how to maneuver. You can't, and it's humbling, man. And that's what I say. And that's like you learned it, I've learned it, and we all kind of stumble on our way coming up the first couple years. But you start to learn, like, man, let me take an interest in these guys. Let me take an interest in my teammates. Let me take an interest in being a good person. When you do that, you get outside of yourself and you go extend a hand and you go talk to your teammates and go sit down and you mess. Those are that's how you build a relationship, and you have to learn how to build those relationships because workers. Those are your teammates for the coming year and possibly another year.
Yep.
And so that is a huge lesson that I've learned, man. And I think that that's one thing that I can take with me wherever I go is my ability to communicate, my ability to work within a system, within a team. Yes, I have been the
Mm-hmm.
best player on a lot of teams. I've also been the guy who came off the bench 8th or 9th. You know what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
regardless of what position you're in, you still have to be part of the team. You've got to
Yep.
buy into the team. You can't be a lot of Americans, they don't make it because they go there and they have the superstar mentality. Man, you're not a
Yep.
superstar. You're a role player. Come fit in this
Yeah.
role. You don't want to fit in the role. I don't care where you are. If you don't want to fit in this role, go home.
Facts.
Go
Facts.
home. We don't want you here. And
Yep.
and and that's why a lot of guys come from the NBA and go to a not so good league in Europe and can't make it because they want to be the man. They want the ball.
Right.
This game is so humbling, man. This is not about you. It's one thing that I've learned that I try to instill in the youth and guys that I talk to, man. This is not about you. This is a team sport. If you can't get
Mm-hmm.
down with the team, you got to keep it pushing, and they will keep it pushing without you.
Yep.
You feel what I'm
Yep.
saying?
It was players before us, and it's gonna be players after us. You
You
know,
know what I'm
they don't.
saying? And
Yep.
I try to, and when I speak with people now, businesses, corporations, teams, listen, man, you're not better. You are not better than this team, than this system that we have going on. You're not better than that. So don't act like that. Don't treat yourself like that. Don't treat the people around you like that. Don't disrespect what we're doing here. Right? Don't disrespect
Facts.
what we're
Yep.
doing here. And that's what Europe is about, man. And I can get down with that. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
I love that aspect of like team first. It is how Europe has cultivated such good basketball.
Yep.
Basketball, not individual talent. They have
Just
cultivated great
quality.
basketball, great quality basketball because everybody buys into the team. And whether you're LeBron James, if you come to this team and you don't want to buy into this team, you could be the best player in the world. We won't have you here.
Yep.
And I respect that.
It's true.
I
I
respect it,
respect it
man.
too.
You know what I'm
Yep.
saying?
Got to.
It's and so then you start fitting in and you start finding out things that you like to do because you start to understand that this is not about how many points can I score, man. This is about me
Yep.
going and showing up for others, me showing up for my teammates and showing up for yourself as well. Then you start to get outside yourself and start to figure out, okay, what do I like, man? What makes me happy? Because I need that energy to carry on to my everyday life in order for me to be successful. I cannot be miserable in my outside life and be successful in my basketball life.
Yep.
It can't work like that. They both have to coexist. So then you go doing the deep dive, what you did. You find out what you like, and you find out how to carry that. You find out how to have that good work-life balance. And I think that's so important.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
So talk to us, man. Talk to us about this moving into these injuries, man, and what it did to your confidence and what it did to your basketball and how much time you missed. Talk to us about that.
Yeah. So I've been. I'd like to think I've been fortunate, man. Hearing some other people's stories about the injuries, they can't catch a break with an injury. Most of my basketball career, my basketball life, very minimal injuries, man. I think I had a bad patella tendonitis my junior year of high school. Had a small procedure where they just cleaned it out. But other than that, man, I've been fortunate. And up until about my year in France, when I felt like I played for the toughest coach in France, regardless of level, and he was running us in the ground every day. And
Where were you
that
at in
was,
France?
man, I was in Greece. The club, it's not even a club anymore. They joined with another club, but I think the club now is ASA
Okay.
um,
Yeah.
in Pro B. But
Okay.
man, that coach at the time, bro, he was. It's I've never worked that hard in my life, and I'm talking like just busy work on top of what you're already doing. So it was no secret. My body just wore down. Everybody had injuries at one point or another that year, and so I think it just happened to happen when I was with the national team up in Tunisia. Stepped on the guy's shoe and just knee gave out. And so that was tough, man, because the initial shock of it, especially it happening in Tunisia, right? And then not having the best medical staff back in France. So also playing for that coach, I felt like he was going to pressure me to come back too early. And so I just didn't trust the situation as much. And luckily, my dad's a doctor. It's a blessing to have my dad as a doctor too. So getting I knew I wanted to go get a third opinion from him back in the States, from his resources. And so ended up doing that. It wasn't, thankfully, it wasn't like a surgery thing. It was just an 8-week rest recovery process. And that it was tough. It was tough. It was tougher after the injury, like coming back to playing, because my first real basketball playing after that was at the Olympic training camp, actually.
Mm,
When that weekend we were all there, and just your mind knows what you've been able to do, but when your body is not following, and it's not you can't find that synchronization, man. It was mentally tough. And it's funny, man, because I'll never forget, because when we were there, I asked you, I think it was something about shooting and just in general, because I was striving to for consistency, man. I've always been like a really good, my whole college career, 40% from three and things. And my first 2 years as a pro, I was, up and down, like trying to find that. And I asked you about it, and you had just you told me something simple, but it was just about routine. Everything routine, routine, routine. And he was like, man, even on days, even on like good game, bad game, no matter what, before practice, after practice, like you just kept driving home, like no matter what, no matter if you feel good, if you feel bad, just do the simple thing. Something as simple as form shooting. I remember
mm.
you was talking about that, just form shooting. And it's funny how like that's like the first thing you learn in basketball. And it seems so simple, but bro, I tell you to this day, bro, it's been a game changer for me. Like it's the
Mhm.
reason I've coming off having a hand injury last year. I broke my hand in the playoffs last year. Quick 2 month recovery, and I came back, had my best shooting year of my career. And it's just things like that. It's those little adjustments that I made to my routine, and just having my own routine. It's amazing how far they can take you, man. And
Yeah.
so I thank you for that. I never got to thank you personally for that,
Man,
man, but it's some good advice. Yeah,
absolutely, man. And you know it just like I know it, man. The older that we get, it's funny. I find it so ironic that the older I'm getting, the more I'm realizing that the stuff that we're learning doesn't really matter. What matters is what you learned when you were little. Like the best
yep,
training that I have ever received was a training I received in college. And that's like I'm talking about weight training, basketball training,
yeah,
speed and conditionings, all that stuff. It was just real basic. It was foundational. And nowadays, we're just it's like we're plagued. We're just stifled by this the Steph Currys and the LeBron James and the Kevin Durant's that all these kids think that they're the anomaly. These
yeah.
guys are anomalies. These guys are anomalies. Don't go do what they're
They're
doing.
the anomaly of the anomaly.
You know, don't go do
Like,
what they're doing. That's not
right.
going to get you for one to where they are, and for two to where you want to go. That's actually that's hurting you, right? What's
Mm-hmm.
going to help you is doing the basics because the truth is your level you're like at a beginner level and you're trying to do things that are like the advanced don't even do. And you're
Yep.
thinking that if I can just grasp the advanced techniques that I'll be that's no, you've got to grasp the basics first. And so it's funny, I'm starting to train kids, man, and we're going to do ball handling stuff and we're going to do a bunch of form shooting and a bunch of 15 footers. We're not even going to shoot any threes. The first couple days you're with me, we won't shoot any threes because you can't make any threes. You can't even you can't do the basic stuff. So we're not going to go and do the advanced stuff. We're going to come in here and spend
Mm-hmm.
an hour. And if we got to do form shooting for an hour, we'll form shoot for an hour until you understand how to form shoot. Then we'll start to move out. And so these kids nowadays, they see Steph Curry and they're like, man, I want to go out there and shoot a 40 footer. So let me just shoot 40 footers for a whole hour. You're gonna get in the game and you won't shoot 140 footer. So
Nope.
even if you go 10 for 10 from 40 feet, by the time you get in the game, you won't shoot one. So you just wasted all your time, right? You're the stuff that
Right.
you've got to learn how to find things that are going to directly apply to your situation. And it's the 40 footer is nowhere in any of the blueprint that you're supposed to be doing. A 40 footer is
No,
not in there. And
not at
so,
all.
and so like you said, man, a form shooting, bro. I'm 31. When I go to the gym, I start by form shooting. There's no reason that you, as a kid in high school, shouldn't be doing form shooting, right? And so just the practices and like me telling you that, and I tell everybody that. I tell everybody the same thing, man, because I believe that that's where you need to start. And
Yep,
so just for the kids out there, man, if these kids I think that if we could get back to doing the basics, make your free throws, make your layups, don't turn the ball
yep.
over, just the simple things. You do the
Simple
simple
stuff
things, do the simple things, and I promise you'll be so much further ahead of your peers. Man, that's
for sure.
yeah,
Yep.
that's definitely one of my staples, bro. So what's going on, man? What's new for you now? What's next for you? I know you're still out there. When are you coming home? What's your next move?
Man, so yeah, we like I said, we just finished up with the playoffs, so getting ready to head back next week at some point. Getting back to the States. It's funny, man. Just yesterday, I uh I got another one of those Giannis gigs. It's kind of become a part-time thing for me in the summer, man. I end
What's
up I've
going
done
on, bro? What is
I
that?
man, it's crazy. It's just how that happened is crazy. It's nothing I did on my own. There was a there was an agent that walked in the gym one day with my trainer, and he's asking for, hey, do you have like any 6'8" guys of a certain build that you were looking for guys to be, maybe doubles for like a Giannis commercial. This is like 2021.
Where were you
And
where was this at?
well, this is in Chicago. That's where I'm from.
Okay.
But I was in Nashville at the time. I was there for like a week, and my trainer he called me. He was like, "Hey, could you be down here in like tomorrow?" I was supposed to be in Nashville for another week, but I was like, "All right, let me just go down. It's a good opportunity, just something cool." So went there. Didn't have to audition much for it because I already fit what they were looking for. So went down to Milwaukee, and it ended up being for like when the Freak 3 shoes dropped, like it was supposed to be in some kind of ad for that. And so I did that, got to meet him and everything, and just he's just chilling with us on set most of the time. And so 2 weeks later, I did another one, but this one was for Budweiser. It was also for Giannis though. Basically, just all of Giannis's like endorsement, whatever sponsorships he has. He has maybe a quick 30-second ad or commercial here, ad here. And so that I did that Budweiser one 2 weeks later, same deal. I got to meet his family this time, like his wife and his son. The NASA's with us too. So just dope opportunities. And I did nothing really. I had to audition for that one, but like it's like you audition, but you know you're already gonna get it type
You
thing.
you got Giannis' phone number?
So nah, we're not like that.
That's your
nah, nah.
man. That's
You're not my man's for real, nah. But so yeah, so I mean, just recently I found out that I'm gonna be doing another one of those in a couple weeks. So got that coming up. Planning on going to Nigeria actually in August for some days to visit some family out there.
how you
And
planning on doing
so
that? In August?
well, yeah, I know.
In August?
I know. He had just built had a house built out there recently, and so
Yeah.
it's chance for all of us to go and see it. And I know. I'm dreading the August heat, but um,
Yeah.
but basketball wise, just hoping to be in a better situation next year, man. Nothing crazy. Just seeing what the summer
Where
holds.
would you
So
like to go, man? Let's speak it into existence. What country would you like to go to?
I've always had, man. Italy has always been a bucket list place for me. I'll be
Okay.
honest.
Okay.
Italy has always been a place I've said, man, I gotta go there at least once. My family's out there right now, actually. For my little brothers, they're on their foreign trip for college basketball, so they're all in Italy right now. So I'm like, man, I gotta get out there. And I
Bruh.
just signed with an Italian agent as well this year, so it looks
Bruh,
like it'll
Italy
be a possibility.
Italy's was my worst year ever.
Really?
I hated basketball in Italy when I was there. My time there, I
Okay.
was a rookie, but it's the most beautiful place ever, bro.
That's what I've heard.
It's the most beautiful. I struggled so much coming from the States. I went, my rookie season, it was a disaster, but man, I just could not. The bus rides were just beautiful.
Mm,
Bus rides to all the teams where we stayed in preseason up in the mountains, just going out in Milan. I mean, we was in Milan, going out in Milan, being around the food, the fashion. I
yeah,
That's one of my favorite places, man. Milan is one of my favorite places. Absolutely. So
yeah.
yeah, you're gonna
I
love
don't
it
know
there,
much
bro.
about the basketball or nothing. It's like I said, it's just a bucket list place for
You're
me. I've
gonna fit
always wanted
in.
to
No,
go.
I say
Like,
basketball, but I was young. You know how that is, bro. I was young. Same
yeah,
way your first years, but
yep,
the basketball there is good. They treat you well. You eat well. You practice. It's you're gonna like it, bro. I'm
yep.
excited for you. You're gonna love it
You
there.
get paid. You get
Yeah.
paid on time. You get paid on time out there.
I got paid on time where I was at. Yes,
Okay,
I did. The team that I was at, they paid well. They paid on time. It was a
okay.
good situation. Now, depends on where you go, but I think you're gonna be all right, man. I think you're really gonna enjoy it.
Appreciate that.
I hope you get there, bro. That'll be fun. And
It'd be
and
nice,
rightfully
man.
so. All the time, all the work that you've put in, that's gonna be your next home, man.
Appreciate that.
That'll be
Yep.
beautiful. Man, let me I don't want to keep you too long, bro, but before we get out of here, two things that I always like to ask our guests. First thing, man, if you could talk about somebody who's been inspirational in your journey, your mental health journey, your spiritual journey, if there's somebody that you could talk about, somebody that we could have on this episode to kind of share their journey, who would it be?
You talking about somebody to like a
Yeah,
player, someone who's playing?
just somebody, yeah, somebody that you know, man, that's been influential in
Hmm.
your journey, um, as a hooper. For me, I had a big homie, man. Mike Frazier was my first big homie who kind of showed me the ropes, man, and just showed me
Hmm.
how to move. You need that. We all needed that vet to
Right,
show us how to move. Now you're the vet. I'm the vet now,
right.
but yeah, if you could talk about somebody who's been inspirational, man, in your journey just through life and basketball, somebody who has an interesting story that we could interview, who would it be?
Man, I always have to shout out my two, I call them my two vets. I know I played for a bunch of teams in Japan, but my last stop in Niigata, my two guys, they're a little bit older, but Lamont Hamilton and Devontae Gardner. Those are my
Devontae
two guys.
Gardner.
Yeah, he played at Marquette
I know that
some
name.
years ago. Yeah, yeah, he been killing it out there in Japan for years, man. But I met those two guys first of all, I played against them on my first team in Japan, so I had only known them as competitors.
Yo,
But when I got to be with them on the same team, it was like they caught me at a time where I was probably in my dark place a little bit, kind of my uncertainty, kind of being passed around here and there, and they really just like they helped me find that joy for the game again. They played in such a carefree way, and they to see how they led that team, and that was my first time really seeing the camaraderie between what the Americans and for them it was the Japanese, but how that can be when there's genuine love from both sides, and just seeing how some of the things they taught me even to this day. Small things, just about guarding the post, simple stuff, man. Just how to
yeah.
be consistent, just stuff like that, man. I've always taken with me everywhere I've gone, and they taught me how to have fun too, like how to have fun with it too, and not take things too seriously at the same time. I think there's a healthy balance of both that you need, and I always credit those two guys for giving me that happiness at the time when I really needed it. So I'm sure them two got some good stories as well. So
Why do you think it is that as we get older, do you think it's because we left the States, or do you think it's because we are now professionals that we learn to how to have fun? Is it because we were forced to do that, or is it just the life of being a
mhm,
professional and finding the work-life balance? Because I say that because, you know, my first 3 years, man, basketball just ruled my life. Like,
Yeah.
good and bad. You know what I'm
Me
saying?
too. Yeah.
And good. If I had a good game, I was on cloud nine. If I had a bad game, you won't hear from me until for the
Yep.
next 48 hours. And it wasn't until I got to, where did I get to? It was probably my later France years, early Spain years, where I realized, man, this is just a game. It's a game
Yep.
that we love to do, but it's just a game, man. And this is not life. And you have to enjoy your life. You have to put your best foot forward in your best effort to enjoy your life. It takes time. It takes effort to like learn how to enjoy these things, because if not,
Hmm.
you'll let them rule your life. You'll let them rule your emotions. You'll have a bad game and you won't be able to get out of it. But it was me who had a vet the same way you did, who was like, man, can't, the vets on the team are drinking beers on the bus after the games.
Yeah.
Now I'm on the bus as a young cat, pissed off. Like, y'all gonna sit here and have
Right.
fun after we just lost? They had to teach me, like, dude, this is
Took me so long to
so
grasp that,
so
man.
my que-
For
so
real.
my so my question is did we learn that because we were in Europe? Did we learn that because this is what being a professional looks like? You know what I'm saying? Why did we learn it? Because when we were in the States, we didn't have these traits.
Right.
We didn't have these traits. Did we just get older and get more mature? Or is that the life of being in Europe?
I gotta say a little bit of both, but I would argue 75-25. Most of it is like being in Europe, man, and just maturing naturally and like you said, finding that work-life balance. Um, just because we're 21, 22 years old and we're professionals, it doesn't mean we're grown men. It doesn't mean we're mature. It doesn't mean
Hmm.
we're like a finished product. And I think sometimes, especially, I'm sure we can relate being thrown into situations where you're just expected to be a finished product right away, and you don't get the grace to kind of grow into who you're supposed to be. Um, and maybe the hard work you're putting in isn't appreciated right away. And so I think it's just something that's happened over time. And being in Europe helps because you're around guys who basketball is not their life, it's what they do. Like most of the locals have other jobs outside of basketball, depending on
Right.
where you're at. And so they don't have a choice. They got
Right.
families, you know what I'm saying? So they have to find that balance. And so naturally just being around that, you learn. Um, I think in the States, the culture is very individualistic. It's very like go, go, go. You gotta get what you want, you gotta do this to get what you want, you gotta go this to get here to get here. And I think the lifestyle in Europe's a lot more, not that people don't, of course people work hard, but it's like it's a little more
Relax.
relaxed. It's a little more like, you know what I'm saying, just a little easier, carefree. And yeah, I think that's definitely got something to do with it.
Yeah, relax, man. Europe, being in Europe taught me it's just it's just not that serious, fam. It's just not that
Yeah,
serious, like, and
it's
it's
not.
it's not that it's not that serious, bro. And that's what it's taught me. It's taught me that saying right there. It's just not that serious. It's
Yep.
and I've been able to like it's been able to help me cultivate success in my life here in the States, because whatever's happening, it's just not that serious. Like find a way, bring a positive attitude to your situation, to your circumstance, and find a way past it. And that's just kind of what it comes to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Find a way to bring a good energy, a good vibe to your circumstance, and then work through it. And
Work through it.
just spend your time working through it. I think in the States, we're just so there's a lot of negativity in the States, I feel like. And and
100%.
and not just
Yep.
negativity, but negative emotions. So
Yeah.
anxiety, or negative perception of emotion, should I say?
Hmm.
Anxiety, frustration, worry, just everybody is so tense, man. Relax. It's gonna
Yep.
life continues. Life is going to
Yeah.
continue. And that being playing basketball at this level, man, has taught me, that, like you said, guys got families. They can't take this and go home and be mad because they lost the game. They got kids to take care of. They got a wife at
Hmm.
home. They can't take the loss of the game, or I scored 5 points and I'm gonna go home and take it out on my kids and family. No, man,
Yeah.
these people are looking up to you. They're looking to you for guidance for a lot of things that you can't allow your negative experience or your bad game or you can't allow that to affect what's going on in your life.
Yep.
And that's one of the biggest takeaways that I've learned, man. But
Sure.
secondly, how do you practice self-love? I know you see the hat, man. How do you
Mm.
practice self-love on an on
Self
an
love.
on an off day?
Oh,
On an off day, you got today free. You might got 2 days free, man. What are you doing?
well, I feel like naturally as athletes, we don't even realize it as much. We tend to be a little selfish. We don't see it that way, but we tend to be selfish with our time. And so I always take, whenever I have off days as an opportunity. Okay, this is my opportunity to. I always have like a call list in my notes. If there's someone I feel like I haven't talked to in a minute, I got
Okay.
people I got to check in with. So
Yeah.
in a weird way, it's like the self love is like being selfless
Mm.
by checking in on other people and just checking in, man. The it goes a long way, and it, lets people know you're doing well. And I would say outside of that individually, that's when I tend to tap into my other habit, my other hobbies, I should say, my other hobbies. Like I said with the beats thing, and then um, really taking that time to just have my quiet time. Um, it's important. There's so much noise and so much busyness the throughout our weekly routine, and just having that extra time to just finally breathe and just have some silence. And some people like to be out and about on off days, walk around here, go see this. Man, I'm more of a kick my legs up. Uh, I don't do a whole lot, so
Yeah.
I try to be that kind of guy, and just kind of have my own reflection. Um, but yeah,
Well,
I don't
listen.
have a special thing,
Well,
but
listen, when you
yeah,
get to Italy, you're gonna have to you gotta get outside. You're gonna have to go outside, go
I
sightseeing.
ain't I ain't trying to say I'm not outside. Let me get that.
Hold
Like
on
I,
now.
I definitely I see things.
Oh,
I
so
don't mean like
you're
outside, outside. You know what I'm saying?
okay.
But I don't have my little phases.
Yeah, nah, I think one of the things you said though, man, is checking up on people. I try to do that as well. And
Hmm.
maybe that comes with being the old head now, but I gotta call my young cats, man, check up on them, man. Make sure everybody's doing well because I know how hard it is over there. So,
Right,
I do the same thing. I got a little list, man. I check up on my guys. Monday, I got these guys to check up on. Wednesday, I got these guys to check up on. And I just send them a text message. I might call them. If they hit me back, I'll get on FaceTime with them real quick. How you doing, man?
right,
The season. How's your body? How's your family? How's your mental? Are you staying strong? It's a dog fight out there, brother. You know what I'm saying?
right.
And so,
Yeah, and we
yeah,
all we all need each other. We need that support, man.
we need it, man.
Yeah,
And what does that do for ourselves, bro? That really helps us like put it in perspective what's really going on. It helps us get
thanks.
outside of ourselves. One of the biggest things that I say is, man, if you're struggling, go help somebody else. That's the
Yep,
quickest way to get out of it. If you're struggling, go help somebody else. You know,
yep.
as a scorer, as somebody, that's the role that I've played on most of my teams. Some days I'm not scoring the ball and I'm frustrated, man. Frustrated. And it's like, all
Hmm.
right, I come out the second half, maybe it's the first quarter, the second quarter, I spent the whole half like worrying about myself and I have 0 points. I'm like, man, all right, well, let's go help somebody. Let's go be a great teammate. I might not score today, but let's go be a great teammate. Let's go clap. Let's go help somebody off the ground. Let's bring some energy. And
Right.
what do you know? I end up, when I get the ball, I'm ending up, I end up doing something with it. But it's just like
Yep.
you helped yourself. And so that's a good way to just get out of that funk, man, is not to worry. We're so caught up, like you said, we're so caught up about ourselves and our lives. And man, go do something else for somebody else. When was the last
Right.
time you did that? Right. So
Absolutely. Yep.
yeah, man. Man, I appreciate you, bro. I wanted to tap in with you. I know you're gonna be coming home soon, right?
So, like in about a week. Yeah,
Yeah, man. I just wanted to tap in
excited.
with you, man. I know you are. I know you had a great season. It's unfortunate how it ended, man. Tell everybody how it ended, bro. Just I know you don't want to do that, but
Thanks. Just make me relive it. That's all good.
come on. Hey, I'm
Man,
making you relive it from a place of like being proud of you, man, because I am proud of
absolutely. Yeah,
your accomplishments.
no, for sure. Yeah, I mean, like I said, we had been through a lot of injuries, ups and downs, changes with our team most of the season, and so could have easily been a year where last year we finished third, made it to the semis, got swept in the semis last year, and this year was looking like okay, we finished the sixth seed, but really there was only one game separating 3 and 6. That's how
Mhm.
tight it was all year. Um, so it was looking maybe like a down year or maybe not as good of a finish. And we storm, win that first quarterfinal round, make it to the semis, and we played a team that had our number all year. And we're down 3-1 in the series and fought our way back to a game 7 on the road and in control of the game, up 11 going into the fourth quarter on the road. We're like everyone's gassed, exhausted, and we're up one with maybe 20 seconds left and had a turnover. They go down, get fouled, make both free throws. We get one last crack at it,
And that's
end up not getting a shot off, and so tough, man,
I
tough.
hate that. I hate
Yeah,
that.
brutal, but yeah, it's
Hey,
basketball, man. It happens.
such is life.
Such is life, for
Nah, man, but yeah, I appreciate you, brother,
real.
for coming on here, man, sharing your experiences with us, man. I know you're gonna be in Italy this next year, so maybe we'll have you back on, and we'll have a part
Yep,
two to show everybody what it's like, man. But yeah,
yep. Amen to that. Appreciate you, brother. It's
yes,
great
sir,
catching up
man.
with you again.
Yes, sir. Have a safe flight back home, man, and we'll tap back in.